So I just want to start off this video just talking a little bit about why I want to become a teacher someday. So I've always been extremely interested in becoming a teacher. So when I was growing up and going through elementary school and everything, I had some pretty amazing teachers that I looked up to and admired quite a bit. My teachers in elementary school were truly inspiring and are honestly the reason that I am in the process of becoming a teacher today. So the experiences that I've had in this class, as well as in my other practicums, have further reinforced my desire to become a teacher. I absolutely love watching my students grow and accomplish the learning goals that I set out for them. It is such a rewarding experience, and I honestly could not see myself doing anything else but teaching. It is where I feel like I belong, and while I haven't had my own classroom yet, I still feel like I'm going to really love teaching when I get out of school. So moving on, I want to talk about the teacher's role in the classroom as well as the student's role. So ultimately, one of the most important roles of the teacher is to motivate their students. Motivation helps keep students engaged in class, which helps reduce behavior problems and increases learning. Motivation is a key element of elementary school classrooms because without it, students will not be learning effectively. So teachers need to be motivated to teach meaningful and relevant content to their students, and the students also need to be motivated to learn that content. It is also important for teachers to keep an eye out for students who do not seem as motivated to be successful and work with these students so they can have academic success as well. The bottom line is that teachers have to want to teach and students have to want to learn in order for learning to occur. It's also important for teachers to have well thought out classrooms. Classrooms need to be stimulating places for students and not be boring and drab. Teachers and students should also work to create a comfortable and safe classroom environment and make it a place where students like to be. Next, I want to talk about my beliefs and my theory when it comes to literacy, teaching, and learning. So I believe there are many different ways to approach literacy instruction. Literacy encompasses many areas, including speaking, listening, reading, and critical thinking. Literacy in young children responds to their development and ability to think and express themselves, while literacy in older children can further learning and comprehension skills. One of the biggest keys in implementing the best practices in literacy instruction is the teacher's own ability to read and write. The most effective literacy educators can translate their skills and knowledge related to areas in phonics, vocabulary, fluency, structure, and comprehension into accessible concepts for their students. The text that students read and work with during their literacy instruction should mirror their abilities, and they should also challenge them to develop further. Also, when it comes to literacy instruction, I think it's important for teachers to remember that each of their students comes to the literacy lessons with different sets of skills, so teachers need to just take this into consideration and should provide explicit instruction that meets students' needs at their levels so that every student can be successful when it comes to literacy. Next, I would like to talk about my instructional practices when it comes to literacy. Like I previously stated, students come to teachers with a variety of different skill sets when it comes to reading and writing. There is no copy and paste method that teachers can use to meet the needs of all their students regarding literacy. Every student is unique in his or her abilities, as well as how they learn information presented to them. Teachers have to recognize this in order to teach literacy skills effectively to their students. In successful and effective literacy instruction, teachers are able to skillfully integrate a range of instructional approaches and resources to meet the diverse learning needs of their students. Teachers also need to use motivation so that their students want to keep improving their literacy skills. Students need to understand that anything is possible and they can achieve anything if they put the effort in. Assessing literacy is also extremely important in the elementary classroom. When it comes to assessment, many believe that tests and quizzes are the best. While they do have their place, I believe that there are countless other ways that teachers can assess literacy skills. A great way to assess literacy is to simply have a conversation with the learner about their students because this can be a form of assessment. Also, keeping a portfolio of a learner's writing can be a way of tracking how students are doing. Also, arranging a discussion where learners talk reflectively about topics, about the teaching, and about the significance of the learning is a way of assessing both teaching and learning. In my future classroom, I am definitely going to incorporate assessment strategies like these because I feel as though they will give me great feedback on my students and the skills that they're acquiring. Finally, I would like to talk about supporting diverse learners in the elementary classroom. Teachers need to create classrooms that will maximize the success of all students and will accommodate a diverse range of skills, needs, and interests. First, teachers can start by differentiating content of the lessons. Content is comprised of knowledge, concepts, and skills that students need to learn based off the curriculum. Differentiating content includes using various delivery formats such as video, reading, lectures, or audio. For example, if you're teaching about fractions and there are students who aren't understanding, try demonstrating how fractions work via cutting of a pizza or a cake. Teachers can also differentiate the process, which is how students make sense of the content. For example, having 1 or 2 processing experiences for every 30 minutes of instruction helps students to not become overwhelmed by information. Processing experiences could come in the form of think, pair, share, journaling, partner talk, or literature circles. I also think books are a great way to help support diverse learners. There are so many great books out there that can be used for all types of students. It is important for teachers to have many books available for their students to work with in order to meet the needs of diverse learners and just every learner in general.